The air in the hallways always felt charged when he was near. Liam focused on the lockers, the scuff marks on the tile, anything but the solid presence of Miles approaching from the other direction. To keep his secret buried, Liam had turned their every interaction into a skirmish. A barbed comment about Miles's perfectly prepared lab report, a shoulder check in the crowded corridor. It was a fragile, furious defense. The confrontation today had been inevitable. Now, backed against the graffiti-tagged brick of a downtown alley, the scent of damp concrete and distant garbage in his nose, Liam braced for the impact of Miles's fist. Miles's eyes, usually a calm, focused gray, were stormy with justified anger. The punch never landed. Another man stepped between them, moving with a fluid confidence that belied his sudden appearance. Liam blinked. The man had Miles's face, but sharper, etched with a decade of experiences Miles hadn't yet lived. He wore the years in the slight creases at the corners of his eyes, in the set of his shoulders beneath a simple leather jacket. "Touch my husband," the older man said, his voice a low, gravelly version of Miles's, "and see what happens." The statement was delivered with a flat certainty that was more terrifying than any shout. He moved, a single, efficient motion, and Miles was sprawled on the wet pavement, a look of stunned betrayal wiping the anger from his features. Liam could only stare, his mind scrabbling for purchase. Before he could form a question, the world tilted. Strong arms hooked under his legs, and he was hauled, unceremoniously, over a broad shoulder. From his upside-down vantage point, he saw the younger Miles on the ground, and the older one carrying him. Two versions. The one beneath him felt more substantial, more real. The older Miles looked down at his younger self, who was pushing himself up, expression cycling through shock and outrage. "You lay a hand on him again," the man said, the threat hanging in the chilly air, "and I'll put you back down." The younger Miles's face flushed a deep, mortified red. He scrambled to his feet, grabbing at the man's leg. "What the hell? Who are you?" A swift, dismissive kick broke the hold. "I'm you. 10 years from now." The younger Miles sputtered, his gaze darting between Liam and his older self. A question spilled out, echoing the one screaming in Liam's own head. "You're me. Why are you helping him?" Liam tried to twist, to get a look at the face of the man holding him, but all he could see was the retreating alley wall and the furious younger Miles. Then his perspective shifted downward. The older Miles had a really nice backside, defined even through well-worn jeans. A reckless, giddy impulse took over. Liam reached out and gave it a solid, appreciative squeeze. The man carrying him went completely rigid. Simultaneously, the younger Miles yelped as if shocked, jumping and slapping a hand to his own rear. He stared at his palm, then at Liam, utterly bewildered. A stinging slap landed on Liam's own backside. "Behave," the older Miles rumbled, laced with something else. Liam looked from the older man's jeans to the younger one's horrified face. A wild, impossible theory began to form in his mind. The drive was conducted in a silence thick enough to cut. The older Miles, Liam had started thinking of him as in his head, navigated the city streets with a quiet familiarity, eventually pulling up to the stately townhouse where Liam lived with his father. Liam had taken a bad spill down the marble front steps a week prior, and his leg was encased in a clumsy plaster cast. Didn't ask for directions. He simply parked, got out, and came around to lift Liam from the passenger seat as if he weighed nothing. He carried him through the foyer and into the living room, settling him gently onto the oversized sectional. Then, to Liam's continued shock, knelt on the plush rug and began carefully untying his sneakers. Liam watched him, the controlled movements, the focused attention. The younger Miles's knuckles had split his lip, and a bruise was darkening along his jawline. Reaching out, Liam used a finger to tilt M's chin up. His own heart was doing a strange, frantic dance against his ribs. "You called me your husband." He couldn't stop the grin that spread across his face. "So, it works out in the end?" M stayed perfectly still, looking up at him. His gray eyes held a depth of emotion Liam couldn't begin to decipher. Sadness? Longing? Relief? Miles had always been an enigma, polite and composed with everyone else, but with Liam, it was constant friction. Liam knew Miles saw him as a spoiled, unserious contrast to his polite, academically gifted stepbrother, Owen. But looking at M, this weathered, capable version, Liam felt a surge of triumph. The how didn't matter. The result did. He'd won. M finally broke the silence, his voice soft. That's all you're curious about? Emboldened, Liam let his gaze drift lower. With his good foot, he nudged at M's abdomen, feeling the firm muscle beneath the soft cotton of his shirt. When M didn't stop him, Liam grew bolder, hooking his toes under the fabric and pushing it up. He pressed his soul against the defined ridges of M's stomach, a silent whistle in his mind. Future me is eating very, very well. How'd I do it? Liam asked, his voice dropping to a conspiratorial whisper. How did future me finally catch you? M looked up, his expression turning complicated, a war behind his eyes. He opened his mouth to speak, but the moment shattered with the sound of the front door opening and Owen's cheerful voice calling out, Liam? You home? M was on his feet in an instant, a hand under Liam's arm to help him up. Hobbling to the foyer, Liam saw the younger Miles standing there, his school backpack held awkwardly in front of him. His face was a spectacular shade of crimson. Owen appeared, his friendly smile faltering as he looked from Miles to M. Who's this? This, Liam said quickly, his mind racing, is Mike. My new driver. Owen's brow furrowed. Driver? A distant cousin of Miles's family, Liam blurted. Helping out for a while. Oh, Owen said, his expression clearing. That explains the resemblance. He turned his bright smile back to the younger Miles. Ready for our study session? I'm totally lost on this calculus. Miles shot Liam a look of pure venom, but with Owen present, he swallowed whatever retort was brewing. He followed Owen toward the staircase, the backpack still clutched like a shield. As they began to climb, Liam's wild theory demanded testing. He reached behind M, who was standing silently beside him, and pinched the denim-clad backside again. On the stairs, Miles yelped, stumbled, and whirled around, one hand flying to his rear. His eyes, wide with outrage and dawning understanding, locked onto Liam. Connection. A shared sensory link between the present and the future. A slow, wicked smile spread across Liam's face. He had a new favorite game. Back in his bedroom, with the door shut, Liam pulled out his tablet. M leaned against the doorframe, watching him with that same patient, slightly amused exhaustion. Come on, Liam said, patting the space on the bed beside him. We're practically married, right? No need for modesty. Shirt off. M seemed surprised by his audacity, but after a brief hesitation, he complied. The body revealed was a masterpiece of mature strength, scars and all, telling stories the younger Miles's flawless skin did not. Liam's fingers itched to touch. He gave in, tracing the lines of muscle, the texture of skin over bone. It was better than he'd imagined. His tablet screen lit up, showing the feed from a small, discreet camera he'd planted in Owen's study months ago, back when his only goal was to steal glances of Miles. On screen, the younger Miles was at the desk, but he wasn't looking at his book. His face was flushed, his lips pressed tightly together. Owen's voice, concerned, filtered through the speaker. Miles? You okay? You look really warm. A sigh came from above him. M was looking at the tablet, then back at Liam. Having fun? Immensely, Liam grinned, not stopping his exploration. Then M's hand closed over his, stilling it. He guided Liam's palm, slowly, deliberately, downward. The sudden shift from playful to intensely direct made Liam's bravado falter. He tried to pull back, but the bedroom door burst open. The younger Miles stood there, chest heaving, his face a portrait of fury and humiliation. Liam, if you touch me, Us again, I swear. All of Liam's shyness vanished. He laughed, a bright, challenging sound, and pulled Em down onto the bed beside him, rolling to straddle his waist. He pinched Em's chest hard. In the doorway, Miles gasped, clapping a hand over his own pectoral muscle, his legs buckling slightly. Em, meanwhile, remained an island of calm beneath Liam, even as Liam felt the evidence of his lack of calm pressing against him. Em's gaze was fixed on Liam's face, filled with a raw, unguarded affection that stole the breath from Liam's lungs. He watches me cause chaos and he smiles. The thought was dangerously disarming. Miles launched himself onto the bed, a tangle of teenage limbs and outrage. I will end you. They wrestled, a clumsy mess of limbs and cast, until Em reached down and plucked them apart by the collars of their shirts like misbehaving kittens. The younger Miles was panting, his hair disheveled. Why? He demanded, glaring at his older self. Why would I ever end up with him? Em's voice was quiet, final. Because I love him. Silence swallowed the room. Liam watched the younger Miles's face. The anger dissolved, replaced by a blank, uncomprehending shock. Then, color flooded back, hotter than before. No way. That's impossible. I would never. No amount of arguing could convince Em to leave with his younger self. Eventually, Miles left alone, looking spiritually crumpled. Liam installed Em in a sleek apartment near campus, a covert operation that thrilled him. Em's patience seemed infinite. He answered questions about their shared childhood, the Mother's Day art projects where other kids had mocked them both for having no mothers to bring flowers to. The fights Liam had started defending a stoic, silent Miles who never asked for it. Aren't you curious about your own future? Em asked one evening, Liam's back resting against his chest as they sat on the couch. Liam laced his fingers through Em's larger, rougher ones. When was our first time? He asked instead. Em's breathing hitched. He stayed silent. Liam twisted, settling in his lap, eyes gleaming. Who made the first move? Come on, we're old marrieds.
Spill.
Em rubbed his temples, a pained expression on his face. Tell me, Liam teased, and then, impulsively, ducked under the hem of Em's t-shirt, pressing a light, mischievous kiss to his sternum. Em shuddered. His body temperature seemed to spike. Liam could feel the rapid beat of his heart, hear the soft, ragged intake of breath. The new phone Liam had bought for Em chose that moment to ring. Puzzled, Liam grabbed it. Only one other person had the number. The younger Miles's voice, strained and desperate, erupted from the speaker. Liam, please. I'm begging you. Whatever you're doing, stop. Liam collapsed onto the bed, howling with laughter. He loved this, loved piercing Miles's composed exterior, loved seeing the vivid, reactive person he knew was trapped underneath the rigid discipline imposed by a demanding father. The mattress dipped. Em was over him, caging him in, his expression no longer patient or amused. It was hungry, intense. Liam, he said, the name a low vibration. I can be patient. That doesn't mean I'm made of stone. Heat rushed to Liam's cheeks. From the phone, still clutched in his hand, came Miles's frantic voice. What's happening? Miles, what are you doing? In the midst of those panicked questions, Em kissed him. It was nothing like the playful peck Liam had given. This was acclaiming, a deep, searching kiss that spoke of years of longing and loss. It was overwhelming. Liam could only cling to him, drowning in the sensation, until Em finally pulled away. Liam lay gasping, his vision blurred. Em brushed a thumb over his swollen lips, a ghost of a smirk on his face. Not so tough now, are you? His gaze dropped to Liam's cast. You have a doctor's appointment tomorrow. I'll take you. Looking at this gentle, future version, Liam felt a wave of affection. Miles, he said softly, what's our life like? Together? The reaction was instantaneous. Em froze. His eyes darted away, unable to meet Liam's. The air in the room grew heavy, cold. A secret, vast and terrible, now hung between them. Liam suddenly knew, with a chilling certainty, that he didn't want to ask the question, and Em was terrified to answer. The next afternoon, the younger Miles intercepted him outside the science building, dragging him into a deserted stairwell. He looked awful, shadows under his eyes. "Send him home," he said, his voice rough. "The door's unlocked. You can leave any time," Liam said breezily. Miles grabbed his jacket, jaw tight, but his eyes drifted, almost against his will, to Liam's mouth. He jerked his hand back as if burned. "Where are you going?" he mumbled, staring at the floor. Liam's playful side reawakened. "On a date. With you. Well, the future you." Miles's face did a spectacular impression of a traffic light. Liam turned to leave, but a hand fisted in the strap of his messenger bag, holding him back. "I'm coming," Miles ground out. "What? On my date?" "To supervise. To make sure you keep your hands to yourself." "My hands are on him, not you." "You know what I mean." Miles shot back, ears glowing. Liam stepped closer, backing Miles against the concrete wall. "Doi!" He leaned in, their noses almost touching. Miles squeezed his eyes shut. Liam laughed and pulled back. "You thought I'd kiss you? I don't kiss people who don't like me." Miles's lips pressed into a thin, hurt line. Liam left him there, but Miles followed him all the way out to the curb where Em waited, leaning against a classic car, sunglasses hiding his eyes. The sight sent a little thrill through Liam. "My husband is so hot," he sighed dramatically. Miles choked beside him. "Wasn't talking to you," Liam said, and hobbled toward Em. Miles grabbed his arm again. "Do you really like him that much?" Liam looked at him, truly looked. "He's not you. He's who you become." "But I'm the one who becomes him," Miles insisted, voice small. "If there's no now, there's no future." Liam tilted his head. "Are you saying you like me now, Miles?" Miles looked away, conflict raging in his eyes. Liam just smiled and turned. This time, Miles didn't stop him, but he silently got into the back seat of the car. Em was quiet as he drove, the silence broken only when Miles, from the back, said, "He hates the smell of smoke, you know." It was an accusation. Em's hands tightened on the wheel. He didn't respond. At the hospital, as Em helped Liam out, they ran into Owen and his mother, Sylvia. Sylvia was all practiced warmth. "Liam, darling, we never see you at home anymore. Your father is so busy. Poor man. Luckily, I have my Owen." She preened, a hand on her pronounced belly. Liam gave a tight, polite smile. "We're all going to the Lakewood Lodge next weekend," Sylvia continued. "Family trip. You'll come, won't you?" Before Liam could answer, Em's hand clamped around his, hard enough to bruise. Liam glanced at him and felt a jolt of ice down his spine. Em was staring at Sylvia, his face a mask of such pure, undiluted hatred it was terrifying. His entire body trembled. "Miles," Liam whispered, pulling at his hand. Em seemed to come back to himself, his gaze refocusing on Liam. He laced their fingers together and marched them into the hospital, not caring about the looks they received. Later, in the parking garage after the cast was removed, Liam finally pushed Em back against the car door. "Miles," he said, his voice surprisingly steady. "Do I have a future?" Em's eyes widened. A sheen of tears appeared instantly. "Is it sickness? An accident?" Liam pushed, his own voice beginning to shake. "Oh God, it's bad, isn't it?" And pulled him into a crushing embrace. He was shaking violently. "It was a kidnapping," he whispered into Liam's hair, the words ripped from him. "While I was in Germany for a competition. Sylvia hired men. They made it look like a car accident on the mountain road near Lakewood. I came back with my medal and a letter I just found, in time for your funeral." The puzzle pieces slammed together. The look in Em's eyes, it wasn't just love. It was the look of a man staring at a ghost he'd been chasing for a decade. Liam hugged him back, tight. "So you're my guardian angel from the future." "I found the letter on the plane," Em murmured, his voice thick. "The only thing of yours I had with me." "The letter?" Liam pulled back, confusion cutting through the grief. "The one you tucked inside that men's fitness magazine you gave me in 9th grade." Liam's mouth fell open. The memory flooded back. A stupid, prideful gesture, hiding his awkward confession in the last place he thought a straight-laced Miles would ever look. You didn't find it until you were in college? You never gave me anything else." Em's retort was almost petulant, and he looked so much like the 18-year-old in that moment it made Liam's heart ache. He buried his face in Em's neck. "I'm an idiot." "Yes." Em held him tighter. "But you're my idiot, and I'm not losing you again." Liam refused the trip to Lakewood Lodge, citing a heavy course load. His father, wanting peace, reluctantly agreed. The day the family left, Em's anxiety became a palpable force. He moved into the townhouse. "They're gone. I'm safe." Liam tried to reassure him one night on the couch. Em just shook his head, his arm a steel band around Liam's waist. "As long as she's out there, you're not." "Miles," Liam said quietly, dread coiling in his stomach. "What were you doing? Right before you came back?" Em's eyes went flat and empty, a void. The chill that radiated from him was absolute. The doorbell rang. It was the younger Miles, standing on the step, duffel bag in hand. "My spot on the German team got given to someone else," he muttered, not meeting Liam's eyes. A derisive snort came from behind Liam. Em stood in the hallway. "You withdrew. Couldn't stomach being an ocean away. Admit it." Miles flushed crimson. He looked past Em, directly at Liam. "I heard you. In the garage. I was worried." The simple, direct statement was more devastating than any argument. Liam's breath caught. He looked away, his pulse hammering in his ears. Miles moved in. The dynamic shifted into an odd, tense routine. Two guardians, one past, one future, orbiting Liam. It was stifling and strangely comforting. One night, after a shower, Liam came downstairs in just a towel to get water. He felt two pairs of eyes burning into his back. But when he turned, Em was lifting weights and Miles was pretending to read. The air was charged. Later, in his bedroom, Em claimed his usual side of the bed. When Liam tried to protest, Miles appeared at the door. "If you don't let me in," he stated calmly, "I will stand here and read your letter aloud. All of it. The part about my eyes being like a storm over the Atlantic, and how my voice—" "You're a demon," Liam hissed, yanking him inside. The bed was king-sized. Fit them all. Liam dreamed of his childhood teddy bears, warm and safe. He woke to heat. Em was kissing him, a deep, languid kiss that felt like coming home. As Liam melted into it, an arm snaked around his waist from behind. The younger Miles pressed his face to Liam's spine. "Your mouth," he murmured, the words a hot brand against Liam's skin. "So soft." Liam froze. Miles's other hand came up, clamping over Liam's mouth. He glared over Liam's shoulder at his older self. "He belongs to me. To now." In the dark, Em went very still. Then he slowly sat up. His silhouette against the faint city glow was the loneliest thing Liam had ever seen. The truth, brutal and simple, hung in the air. The younger Miles still had a chance. The older one had already had his heart broken for 10 years. Liam elbowed Miles in the stomach. "You idiot," he whispered fiercely. But when he tried to pull away, Miles's hand found his, and it was trembling. Liam looked up and saw, in the dim light, tears glistening in Miles's eyes. For a moment he had felt it, the decade of hollow grief. A crash from downstairs shattered the moment. The lights went out. Rain lashed the windows. "Stay here," Em ordered, voice low and tense. He slipped out. A scraping sound came from the balcony door. Miles immediately pulled Liam into the walk-in closet. They heard gruff voices, saw flashlight beams slash through the dark bedroom. When it seemed clear, they crept out to get a phone. A shape lunged from the shadows. Miles shouted "A" and shoved Liam aside, grappling with a large man holding a knife. Miles was thrown to the floor. The knife gleamed as it rose. M was there. His hand closed around the blade, stopping it. Blood welled instantly. "Get out," he barked at Miles. Miles scrambled up, grabbing Liam's hand. "I called the police. We have to go now." "But he's hurt," Liam cried, trying to look back. "Liam, trust me. He'll be okay. He has to be." Miles's grip was iron, his eyes desperate. No now, no future. As they ran, a strange, foreign memory flashed behind Liam's eyes. Cold metal, the coppery taste of blood, the slow seep of warmth from his own body, and an overwhelming sense of loneliness. It was the death that was supposed to happen. A sob tore from his throat. They burst into the rain-swept front yard just as two figures crashed down from the balcony above, landing with a sickening thud on the wet grass. Liam wrenched free and ran to M. The knife handle protruded from his abdomen, dark blood spreading across his shirt. M's face was pale, but he managed a weak smile. "Don't cry. You can't kill a ghost from the future." Liam cradled his head, the phantom memory of his own death mingling with the terrifying reality of M's fading life. Sirens wailed in the distance. M's hand, cold and bloody, touched Liam's cheek. His form began to grow translucent, shimmering like a mirage. "Wait for me," he whispered, his voice fading. "In the future. Promise you'll come find me." His gaze, filled with a love that had crossed time, held Liam's until the very last moment he dissolved into the rainy night, leaving nothing behind but the stain on the grass and an emptiness in the air. The police investigation swiftly implicated Sylvia. She lost the baby in custody. Liam's father was shattered, a man torn between a son and a wife who tried to have him killed. He still provided for Owen, a quiet, complicated penance. A few days after M vanished, Liam found a notebook in his dresser drawer. It was filled with precise, neat writing. Dates, numbers, company names, real estate markets. He took it to Miles. Miles studied it, a slow understanding dawning. Lottery numbers, investment tips, property markets. He began making notes of his own, a meticulous plan unfolding. He gave us a roadmap. "Feels like cheating fate," Liam said, draping his arms around Miles's neck from behind, settling into his lap. "We'll get struck by lightning." Miles went very still. He took off his glasses, turned Liam's face toward his. His eyes were dark, intense. "Liam," he said, his voice a low rumble. "When was your first kiss?" Liam's mind went blank. "Our golden retriever, Buster. I was 7. A muscle ticked in Miles's jaw. "With a person." Liam tried to squirm away. "I should go check those lottery numbers." He was hauled back, pressed into the couch cushions, Miles hovering over him. A dangerous smile played on Miles's lips. "Running won't help." "With you," Liam blurted. "It was with you." "Well, the future you." Miles's expression darkened. He nipped at Liam's shoulder, not quite gently. "My point exactly. You gave your first kiss to him." His voice dropped, tinged with a jealousy so profound it was almost laughable. "Seems only fair I get something else." His hand slid under Liam's shirt. Liam gasped. "Miles, you were not seriously jealous of yourself." The look Miles gave him was all the answer he needed. "Compensation, Liam. I insist." The argument was effectively ended by a kiss that was all possession and promise. Miles's bedroom door didn't open again until long after midnight. Years unspooled. University abroad, wealth accumulated effortlessly thanks to the notebook. The ghost of the future was a silent partner in their success. On Miles's 28th birthday, he got profoundly drunk. "I'm finally here," he slurred, holding Liam close. "The age he was when he kissed you first." It was the year the nightmares of loss began to finally recede. On New Year's Eve, as the city erupted in fireworks outside their loft, they tumbled to the rug, a tangle of limbs and champagne-flavored kisses. "I had a dream," Liam murmured against Miles's lips between bursts of light, "that I died and haunted you, pestered you to avenge me. I thought it would give you purpose. But you were so sad. You just walked into a river." Miles stilled. He lifted his head, his eyes serious in the strobing light. "I wouldn't fall in," he said quietly.
Idejum.
"Because I'd want to be where you were." The final, grand firework bloomed and faded, leaving them in relative darkness, the only sounds their mingled breaths. Miles lowered his mouth to Liam's ear, his whisper a warm, permanent vow in the quiet. "I love you." Liam smiled into the dark, holding the man who was both his past and his future. "I know."